Welcome to the start of our new campaign, Threshold of Revelation. We are starting right from the get-go in the heat of the action, but before we get to that point, I do want to explain the narrative as it stands prior to this narrative start point. The group of individuals that have assembled into this squad or team of operators are affiliated with the conglomerate, which is a well-known element in my campaign setting. They are an organization that desires that magic be licensed effectively, that magic has rules to it that aren't bent or broken, and that people follow these rules for the betterment of people who can't use magic and for the betterment of people who also use magic. Unfortunately, most everyone who's familiar with the setting, and most of the people sitting here, are not fans of the conglomerate due to the corrupted nature of a lot of the individuals that have been met out in the conglomerate. And it has been going through quite a rough time in the last several hundred years due to these rogue elements becoming more powerful and steering the course of the conglomerate into a much more globalizing force that wants to instead create a rule that not only coincides with the nature of magic, but also the nature of politics of sovereign nations, and other things outside of the initial scope and purview of what the conglomerate sought to basically create order for. That's changed in the last few decades. There has been a movement in the conglomerate's home country of Jernaris to change the paradigm at home, and also to pull back a lot of the elements outside of the country of Jernaris back to Jernaris, so that those who were given power in foreign countries would be stripped of it and forced to do menial tasks or imprisoned for their crimes, and sometimes left in the countries they were in prison cells where they avoided being placed due to diplomatic immunity and other rules that were twisted to their advantage. The old conglomerate was also very competent in creating powerful magics that bent the rules of reality, the rules of life, the rules of death, order, chaos, good, evil, what have you. It wasn't an uncommon thing to see mechanical abominations thrown from massive ships that floated in the sky, or twisted maladies of form and function created right under the cities that you were in by conglomerate operatives. One such experimental chain was known as, and still is known as, the Dance Eternal. It grants individuals with a strong and capable will the ability to persist beyond death and be granted the ability to reform their body and continue to operate for whatever cause they are endeavoring to achieve. As this is obviously a very powerful kind of magic, it was seen as coveted by a lot of the people in the Magier Council of Jernaris. But one Magier very quickly saw that it could be twisted for evil ends. This individual is a Magier known as Dekelis, and he is an operator as well. He desired that this magic, this method, was limited. There was one effort that got out of his grasp and made its way into Lavidia, but contact with that group has ceased. It is the presumption of the conglomerate that that group of operators was destroyed outright. This group of operators, however, was assembled, handpicked by Dekelis himself, with the intent of forming a group that could utilize the Dance Eternal and would not attempt to utilize the Dance Eternal for selfish ends. The goal here for this group of operators is to return some semblance of order to the lands of Lavidia, a small region in Jernaris that has seen quite a bit of political upturning and rebellious factions rising against the nature of the old conglomerate, with no desires of communicating with common folk or communicating with small town settlements. Instead, just absolutely acting in a bandit-like fashion and taking what they wish from who they wish. Having felt so spurned their entirety, their histories, they feel no one is warranted any kind of protection except for their own in-groups. Penford, a city in Lavidia, is really the last bastion of civilization in Lavidia. It's a great city. It still maintains itself as a center point in Jernaran trade, with trade routes moving from Parnek to the northeast, down from Penford to a city called Dayet, which is well beyond the scope of the map that we'll be engaging in. But Penford is currently besieged by a group known as the Riders of Aeonis. The Riders of Aeonis make up a large percentage of the cavalry forces that were employed by Jernaris in this region to maintain a military presence and a sense of protection for the larger settlements. Unfortunately, the Riders of Aeonis are led by an individual named Willowdean, the Rider Eternal, who felt that the oppression of Penford stemmed out into Lavidia, and he felt like he was no longer willing to take it. And he moved to attack Penford. In that engagement, he has seized Penford on its western walls, and the group of operators are now making their way out of the city with the intent of breaking the siege. They will do so by whatever method they find is necessary. A couple of options have been put to them, but the goal ultimately is making sure that Penford is allowed access to the lands of Lavidia outside of its walls. That said, we start in the midst of the action. The group has moved across a bridge on the southern side of Penford known as the Bandit Bridge. Its old name is known to some, but not commonly known, as it's been a number of decades since it was taken over by a bandit known as Antwing.
Hey, John.
Yeah, I know the water.
No, it's just sort of an echo almost that you've got going on, just for the last 30, maybe a minute.
Oh, is it still coming in now?
Is it when the music turned on?
No, I've got the music muted.
Huh. Is it still coming through, though?
Not as bad now.
Okay.
I think it might have been a distance from your mic, maybe?
Maybe. Okay, sorry about that. I'll move it a little closer.
It's still there.
Yeah, it is still there.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. I prefer better audio versus no. Good.
We can hear you fine. There's just something else going on.
Yeah, so currently there's water in the background. Is that coming through? Okay.
No.
I don't hear that at all. No, it's just there's two of you almost.
Okay, I think what's happening is because I have my it's a background sound canceller. The background sound is pretty noisy, so maybe it's
trying to cut your actual voice partially.
Yeah. So I will do my best. Hopefully it will stop in the next couple of moments. If it doesn't stop when I think it should, we'll revisit. But real quick, where we are started is the last leg of the journey here. They've moved across the Bandit Bridge using secret tunnels on the northern side of the Bandit Bridge to get past the main fortress of the bridge, where Antwain is said to lair. They then moved across to a small island in the center of the bandit bridge, where a number of boats and ships of bandit origins from bandit groups across Lavidia and further south in Inundia and Olimar have made kind of camp and are trading with the city and with the bandits present. In this last leg, they've made it to the toll fort at the southern shore of the bridge. At this point, they really have free reign to move about this area and go where they would like. As I go ahead and get us started here, just so you have some thoughts, and also we have a bit of time to explain your characters as you're moving in secret across the bridge. I just want to give you the first bit of the fort here. So the southern section of the bridge, as we discussed, connects on the south shore of the North Ramun River, which is the river you just crossed. The stone archway ahead of you appears to have a tower set beside it and a large brazier of flame burning up top. Signs of someone moving up above are evident. It does not look like, to the more military competent, i.e. Brent, your character, and I would say Jeremy, your character as well, that the person is not very vigilant in his watch. But as you move across the bridge in stealth, would like each of you to describe your character in turn, and if you want to add a bit of a flavorful bit of discussion in character as you're discussing your advance here, that'd be great. I'm going to start with Brent. Go ahead and give me a good description of Ezekiel, and go ahead.
Ezekiel is like, he's a 7-foot tall, 150-pound, pure white, blue-eyed, essentially like a husky dog. He's an upturned kennel born, so he's more of like what you'd imagine like a husky would look like. He is he's got family, but I think the only one he knows of the whereabouts is his sister who lives in town, in the town we just left. And he's pretty much just like out here trying to do his best to proceed the goal of the conglomerate, which is something he wholeheartedly believes in, like full force.
Very good.
Yeah. And he's the best boy.
A real quick note, Kennelborn are a race that are presented in handouts that were a part of the Burrowbound Patreon, which a number of maps in this campaign setting will be from. Also, I believe the pronunciation is Shispeku, which is another map group that I am utilizing maps from, and Neutral Party. So just getting that credits roll out of the way at the beginning here regarding the maps that'll be used for this game. Thank you, Brent. I'll move on next to Steve. Give us a good description of Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock is a 4'5", 240-pound dwarf. He's the class very stout, as many of his kin. He's more unique in the sense that he is more well-traveled than most dwarves. He's spent the majority of his life traveling the world. He was born into the Far East, in the dwarf hold there. His only family he really knew was his mother, who was part of the Brewers Guild, the Dwarven Brewers Guild, and he joined following in her footsteps. But he disagreed with the traditional dwarven sense of just kind of staying in the mountains, staying underground, honing your craft. And he felt that the real answers and mastery of his craft would be found out in the world. And so he traveled. He's been traveling for about the last 40 to 60-ish years, somewhere in there. He kind of lost track of time. But it's been a long time. Just going on ventures, meeting people here and there. He's had a few run-ins with some interesting folk, one of which being I believe it was a council of the Dwarf Hold that is in Genaris, or just near where we are now. And they asked him to kind of represent them and the dwarves with the conglomerate, as dwarves are the only ones who can repair the lodestone, which I think is what we need to do the Dance Eternal.
Lodestar.
The Lodestar. And so Rolling Walk, being a loyal dwarf to his kin, and not exactly knowing what was in store for him, decided to taken upon himself to complete the task. He decided he'd never explored these lands, so he figured it's just as good a place as any. Came down here, and when he joined up and did the Dance Eternal for the first time, he realized that maybe he was a bit more in over his head, but, you know, he sees things through, and so he will.
And a good note there to lead up on for a description that kind of be present throughout this campaign. Steve mentioned the Lodestar, which I believe Rolling Rock would probably be the one who maintains and holds. Is that accurate for the group?
Makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. The Lodestar is basically a solid stone or metal or some solid object which has been imbued with magics and allows for the reformation of bodies, or rather the formation of effigies of bodies. So how this works is, the Dance Eternal, when a character dies, their soul will continue on. They will exit the body and function as a ghost or lingering spirit, which is a class of its own, presented on DM's Guild if you're interested, but we're using it a little differently than it's kind of presented there. So they can immediately, after having their body dropped and dead, out of their body and act as if they were still effectively given agency in this spectral body. If the spectral body is taken with the Lodestar to what is called a Well of Souls, a place where souls very closely compact or spawn from, a place where unborn souls enter into the world to allow for new life to be formed, the Lodestar can take those energies, reform the effigy, and allow for the lingering soul that was left behind at a character's death to re-enter that effigy, remaking the character. And that's how these individuals are different than your typical conglomerate operative. That said, I'm going to move on to Chody. Tell us a little bit about Silas.
Silas is a lizard folk. He's tall and long, but he also kind of hunches over when he walks. He carries a large great sword currently, and he always has a pan of some sort. He is unlike most lizard folk. He has gained a passion for cooking and the preparation of meals in just one of the best ways that he can. He actually joined a guild and is learning to cook. That's actually why he's here. He's been learning and seeking out for more ingredients and just more ways to better his cooking ability. And basically, he's just doing these jobs to get money to be able to pay for this art that he's trying to perfect.
And that brings up an interesting point as well. This game also has a number of recipes and different types of consumable items that are not normally present in Dungeons and Dragons. One such recipe or food or consumable type is foods, which are meals that are created by someone who cooks and served to the group for benefit. Those will be displayed throughout this game. And I believe that the reason why Silas most likely entered into this group is Dekel's mentality isn't one of absolute just obliteration of an enemy. It's about trying to console as many wounded hearts that are present out in the field, and the best way to a person's heart is through their stomach. That said, moving on to Andy, tell us a bit about Nyx.
Yep, Nyx is a Dramite, which is a small bug-like creature that's native to Draenarus. He's 3 feet tall. They're 3 feet tall and weighs about 40 pounds. Dromites are androgynous. So Nyx's hive is from the northeast of the lands and has been aligned with the conglomerate and sees it as protecting the safety and interests of the hive. And so when conglomerate asked for a representative, he volunteered to undergo the ritual.
And yes, Dromites are a race that was presented in Eberron. If you're curious about them, they're different from my campaign setting a bit but the fundamentals are still basically the same.
Yeah, so I could just add that they have tough chitinous skin, insect-like compound eyes, and 2 little antennae emerging from their forehead.
And pierced through perfect shaped holes in their hat.
Yeah, and so Nyx is skulking along, thinking he's doing a great job of being stealthy. Meanwhile, he's wearing extremely brightly colored clothes, yellows and oranges and reds and purples and greens and blues.
Absolutely. Perfect. Then we will go with Zach. Tell us a bit about Bodhi.
Bodhi is an unassuming satyr. You don't see many of those in the area of, was it Penford?
Correct.
Forgive me. He's had a rough lot in life. Has been with the quote-unquote new conglomerate since its beginnings, and bears scars from what is known as the old conglomerate. He's not necessarily shy about them. He does wear clothing that covers the more grisly indicators of his time spent with the old conglomerate, and is working to erase what was of the old conglomerate to be replaced by something better.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Jeremy, tell us a bit about Uther.
Uther is a very tall, very thin Goliath. He stands about 7'4", but only about 320 pounds. He carries a bow, and he is ritually scarred for crimes that he committed. He carries himself pretty well, but he's pretty quiet in what he does.
And absolutely the one probably leading this excursion across the bridge, no doubt, due to his just absolute proficiency with shadows and movement through them. That being said, you're maybe 20 or so feet from the actual portway, or archway rather, that leads into the fort castle. Up ahead, you can see that there is a portcullis that is set inside of the archway in question, which stands about 40 foot high, and the actual gate itself is probably only about 18 or so feet high. However the mechanism works, it would probably be indicative to investigate the top of the archway, but the portcullis is not down, it is up. And you can see beyond it, there appears to be a wooden bridge that connects the archway in question to the fort castle, or the toll castle proper.
And the only guard we currently see is the one over here at the edge of the wall.
There is a guard over there. He seems to be sitting on the edge of the wall with a cigarette, which are pretty commonplace in Jernaris. And there is a guard, the one that I mentioned during the description. He's actually up here on this bit. You can kind of see him.
Oh, that's the tower above us he's at the top of?
Yeah, it's a tower.
Okay.
So this part here is about 40 feet high, and the tower itself is about 60 feet high. So another 20, or actually 50 feet high. So another 10 feet above that. And
he's the less than vigilant person that we saw then?
He seems to be just kind of meandering up there. Whatever he's doing, you're not 100% certain.
My map went like grayish.
What's that?
The whole thing. My whole map is like a gray color now, except for the area around us. Is that
good.
My dark vision, or
Mine's
is that not dog vision?
Stellar, but yeah, no, it's well lit enough this evening that you can see fine throughout the light, or throughout the darkness. I think it's set to a dim light, but yeah, there are things that are illuminating otherwise. So I can't say for certain what's going on with your computer, Brent. I
am going to give you a heads up. I'm having incredible technical issues as well.
I see the lag.
But I'm here to go.
Okay. So the question I have for you, you would also note that there appears to be, and you can kind of see it on the map there. I'll go ahead and ping that for you. A ladder that descends all the way down along the side of the portcullis. So the door is actually kind of here, and then there's this ladder that descends all the way on the side. It is also down at current, but it does look like it normally has a mechanism that allows it to be pulled up so that it's only half and half, but it's currently descended. So
Which way are they trying to keep people out?
they're trying to keep people out from this direction.
Okay. I was like, man, this is the most confusing bridge I've ever seen.
Yeah. So
Everything's backward.
looking at it from a distance, it looks like you'd basically come down from the bridge and then enter into the fort castle. And then there's a path that goes through the heart of the fort castle around to the back end, the other side from where you're at, looping all the way around the eastern side, and then underneath the wooden bridge that you're possibly about to go over, and then down a hill into the region proper. Because you are, at current, probably a good 50 feet above, or 40 feet above the ground and the water line. So the fort castle's kind of built up on a hill.
Okay. So is there a drop between the stone bridge and the wooden bridge?
Yes. So the stone bridge, so the wooden bridge and the stone bridge are the same. But
Okay.
the road beneath it is about a 30 to 40 foot drop beneath the wooden bridge.
Got it.
Okay.
Is there a door on the opposite end of that wooden bridge? I can see the top of the wall, but
Yes. The thing about that one is the portcullis is down, and the portcullis in question, now that you can see one of these descended, isn't a stereotypical portcullis where it's just a couple of bars, etc. It appears to be a very neat iron lattice that has been kind of very thinly kind of prepared between larger anchoring bars. So it's very hard to see through it unless you're right up on it. And it's also very ornately worked. Jernaris is pretty well known for its metalworking.
okay. So which way do you guys
We
want
snuck
to
our
go?
way this far.
Mhm.
We clandestine means to get to where we are now, and we're aiming to get just past this place.
Yeah. If
Just drop. Basically, our end goal is over here on the left, on the western side.
yeah. Ultimately, like I'm just letting you know straight off. If you do not want to deal with the fort castle at all, you can sneak up to the wooden bridge, climb down the stone wall to the road, and walk off screen. Or you can enter into the fort castle and explore it.
I would point at the ladder that's down with my clawed finger.
I mean, does anybody have any business they really want to do in this fort castle, or do you guys just want to go straight to the mission?
What do you got with that ladder?
Say we go up it and we start seeing what's in the castle.
Going up, it could alert the guard.
I just pat the sword. We can quiet them.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, these aren't really our enemies. They're kind of defending the town that we're coming from.
They're
bandits.
So a quick note on that. You say that I do want to make sure that we have perspective.
Kind of.
Yeah. They are currently trafficking in goods and upselling them in the city and basically creating kind of a bottleneck that allows them to profit off the backs of innocent people in the city. So that's what that island is about. And then the second thing that you would note too is these bandits don't really take kindly to neighboring folk. So most of the farmlands around here are either paying protection rackets or have already been absolutely exploited and violently dealt with.
Yeah, but like that big cavalry out there, it's not getting through here, so that's a good thing.
Sure, that is true. So it sounds like Silas wants to go up the ladder. I'm not going to try and press you any further directionally. Absolutely, as a group, decide what
I'm not going to give any reasoning one way or the other. I vote we just ditch. We just dip out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, Rolling Rock still just kind of scratches his head and is wondering why, if this is a toll bridge, I don't understand why we haven't just paid the toll and walked through. Like all this sneaking isn't. He doesn't. It's not really his style.
You have a lot of money, Rolling Rock.
Yeah, I don't know what you really know, but I'm kind of broke.
I don't know that bandits necessarily care for fair trade.
How much could they really want for a group? 1 gold piece each? That's more than enough.
I've never
Well,
heard you speak before.
considering what they're doing to the town, and they seem to be wanting to make a pretty penny. I'd imagine they would upsell that, or upscale. That's the word I'm looking for. Upscale that. So like maybe 20 gold pieces a piece. And I definitely don't have that money. I'm actually broke. I don't have any money. Spend it all.
Sneaking can be fun.
Look, I completely rely on all of you to survive, so I'm not going anywhere that you guys don't. But I don't know what we're capable of.
I just know that they seem to be upsetting the balance of the people with these upsellings and such. We can set it right by taking that from them and putting it into our side of the scale.
You're the chef, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know the old saying about your eyes being bigger than your stomach. Maybe this isn't the right time.
This wasn't the task we were given.
These bandits, they're under like these are Antoine's guys as well, right?
Antoine, yeah. Now to really quick put a point to it. Willowdean is the leader of the Riders of Aeonis. Antoine is the leader of the bandit cell that holds the bandit bridge. It's named...
Is Antoine the Rider Eternal?
No, separate.
Yeah, all I know is
Willowdean.
really
Willowdean.
fancy
Okay.
make an enemy of Antoine and Willowdean, not where they're both still alive.
Yeah, they don't like each other. But again, both are exploiting Penford. So if you're looking at it as Jeremy very clearly put it, it is a very clear situation of the enemy of my enemy can serve functionally as a friend. But there's also what Chody said.
Silas, my man, they don't even need to know we were here.
Lesser of two evils.
I know exactly what it feels like to be stabbed so well.
Yeah, so
Name a body part. name anything.
If they are holding this group off, then if we need to wait and see which one comes out ahead, that's fine. Either way, I think our paths are going to come back here one way or another.
We can work
we deal
against
with the
both
main
factions.
problem
But
first.
right now-
We can deal with this problem afterwards. Get the biggest threat out of the way, and then deal with the smaller threats as we come to them.
Or we can just follow orders.
That's what I'm saying. Is we go deal with what our orders gave us, which is the biggest threat. Then
Yeah.
when we get that done, we can come back and deal with this, since it's like,
No,
it's
when the
not
handler
good.
decides this is a problem, the handler will tell us to deal with this.
Yeah, that's what Brent's saying.
That's like the exact words I'm saying.
Oh, well, you never said it would come up as an order. I just thought you meant we'd just come back and deal with this because we felt like
I figured that once we got rid of the bigger issue, the handler was like, oh yeah, we need to deal with the smaller thing, which is the people blocking the town immediately outside the town.
Okay, so if the case is that your group kind of sneaks up to the portcullis, moves through, and is going to descend down, I need everyone to go ahead and make a stealth roll. You have advantage for this.
Oh yeah.
Because
boy.
the person who would hear you is very much not good at his job.
Oh boys.
Does
Oh,
Mine says
have
2
disadvantage?
GM. Is that
Do I
a
have-
problem?
Yeah, mine is set to
mine says
GM as
to
well.
does anyone have a stealth skill trick they could imply for this?
no.
There is a group stealth thing if you're proficient in stealth.
John, our rolls are rolling 2 GM. Do we need
It
to
is
change
true.
that?
It's fine.
Okay.
You can change it if you want.
Okay,
I
and
don't
that's a
mind
character
doing
sheet. That's a
I
character
like
sheet setting.
pointing out when we fuck up.
It's in your cog. It's because
Okay.
I set the standard to do that.
Okay. So
Whisper
never
rolls.
whisper rolls.
Yeah,
Where
that's
do you
fine.
guys see that at?
Cog,
1, 2,
right hand
3,
side
4.
under NPC.
Like the 4th from the very
I'm missing
top.
Rolling Rock still.
Or sorry, 3rd from the top.
Okay, so you'd have advantage, so it'd be the first roll. Okay, perfect. So, Uther, you've been dealing with this throughout the entirety of the course of the bridge, and you've kind of picked out the weaker links. And you're able to kind of quiet the chef clanging a bit, and be kind of mindful of, his just very coarse nature in this effort. Like, he doesn't really care about the sounds that his claws are making on the stone as he's descending. He's just going for it. And Ezekiel, in heavier armor, has kind of been a nuisance throughout the entire trip. But Rolling Rock seems to have taken the lessons to heart that you've been teaching over the course of the time, at least so much to say this evening. And you all descend down without issue. As you make it to the ground, you hear what sounds like very loud horse hooves hitting the stone and moving towards the bridge as if they were coming up behind you. Just in time for you to kind of see them kind of right out above you as you make it to the ground. The rider in question appears to have a bright yellow cloak on his back, which you would know marks him as one of Antwain's brigands. And he is riding into the fort castle. You can hear the sound of the portcullis rising as he's approaching, and it seems to allow him access immediately thereafter. Do you wish to investigate here further, or continue on your escape?
We got a job to do.
All right.
It's important.
You stalk.
We're not going to interrupt him.
You stalk off into the night, leaving the fort castle to itself. That said, as you exit the hill area and make your way kind of further down away from the river, you can see that there are two paths available to you. You can take the low road, which leads towards the coast, or you can take the high road, which leads towards a pass that you are slightly familiar with by description and description alone. That specific pass, bear with me here, is known as the Farod Pass. It connects with the Celestron Bridge, or the Bandit Bridge, and it leads into kind of Lavidia proper. As far as southern exits of Penford, it is a pretty direct route to like the Makonski Plains to the west, and even north towards the Briary Hills, which are kind of here. And this is the Makonski Plains. So, the low road or the high road?
Do we know if Aeonis or Willadine, I don't know, if he patrols this road pretty heavily, like the high road?
You would have to venture a guess that would be the case, but you would also know that this is a conflicted area. The bandits also patrol this area.
Who would you say has a stronger presence between
bandits.
the two factions? Bandits, for sure.
Bandits, for sure. Based on your kind of background on it,
We're on their turf, more or less.
yeah, the Ramoon River is basically bisecting the bandit forces and the Jonas forces. Jonas are kind of on the northern side, and the bandits are kind of on the southern side. Bandits have a strong fortification in the Bandit Bridge, so they don't splurge out too far. But again, there are also rogue cells of bandits who aren't directly loyal to Antwain, and they're doing their own thing. Number of different groups, which I mentioned a few of them in our side chat.
Would the Aeonians have sort of like a forward camp for their...
It's on the map.
Is that the...
Jonas camp.
Sorry, I'm not zoomed in well enough.
No worries.
I'd venture that we're likely closer to the bandit operations, to where if we were to run into anyone, we should favor opposing the Aeonians. They're slightly less likely to get back up, track us down. I don't know necessarily if that helps us make our decision, which direction to go.
Well, the high road definitely is going to have more likely chance of like encountering opposition, where like the low road definitely seems less traveled, and
Rugged.
there's also no bridge down there. Like we're going to have to hard cross a river at some point. But with that being said, it's probably going to have less like people or bandits or Aeonians. But I don't know if what beast or man controls that area down on the south side of the plains.
A nice walk in the wilds might do us some good, fresh air.
I will say, as a dwarf, you would know that there are many ways to cross a river, not just fording it. So there may already be access points across the river, especially with a large grouping of mountains that close to the river.
Ooh, like one of those like pole ferries or something?
Or dwarven tunnels that descend underneath the rivers, or other access points.
Feel like it'd be better for us to fight off wild animals than people, because if we fight off people, eventually they're going to want to come get revenge. If we fight the animals, we can hopefully get away fast enough. Like we won't have to deal with them in the future. We won't have to worry about like if we fight an animal in the forest, its family's not going to come kill us later.
Yeah,
and
rolling,
we won't let them know we're out of there.
You look like
yeah,
you know
taking
what
the
you're
south,
talking about.
taking more the wilderness path, more wild path.
Okay. So yeah, again, it's a twofold choice. If you want to do it the democratic way, I mean, there's the pass or the coast.
Does anybody absolutely want to go by the road as opposed to the wilder route?
Nix wouldn't really have an opinion. He would want the more experienced
Silas?
travelers to lead.
Probably tasty meats out there in the wilds.
Yeah, I'm open to whatever, man. I'm down.
Okay.
Feels
So-
unanimous.
It sounds like coast is the way to go. All right. We're moving into a new cell. So this is a travel experience. We've done this in our last game, but the difference is that the hexagons are actually larger mileage-wise than was before. So you're not going to be able to move as many hexes in a day as you were before. So 15 miles will lead you into the middle of the night as you are traveling in the evening. I need a representative of the party. We still do random encounters. To go ahead and roll a d20.
Eve.
Hell yeah! First
shit.
roll die.
Is that bad? Isn't that bad?
All right.
I think so.
So here's,
Probably.
You
here's-
dick.
here's the
Super
fun
bad.
Here's the fun difference between Saga and this game. Random encounters are semi-random encounters. There's a chance that you could have to deal with a random encounter, and you roll percentage-wise. If the gravity of that roll is higher, it's worse. There's no D100 roll afterwards. The random encounter for each one of the cells on this map will always be the same, with the exception of the slight change because you made it worse by rolling a 20.
Oh no! Oh, maybe now we
Antoine himself comes out and kills us.
As you descend down the coast, it's late.
Antoine and the other guy holding hands.
It's late in the evening. Hold on a second here. Random. This isn't. All right.
I mean, at least we'll be able to see what we're all capable of.
It was bound to happen. Just Willikers was that sometime?
First roll was a 20, which is great, but bad because it was a rolling cap.
Because of the nature of the low road, it descends down onto a white sands beach that kind of moves in such a fashion that you're really kind of focused on maintaining this position for a little while before kind of coming up back onto more less coastal land. As you're making your march that way, I'm going to go ahead and pull your tokens down and move you to the map in question. And I think it's going to cue an auto music. Yep, sure did. Cool. It's going to be a little action-packed while we do the descriptions here, but that said, I'm putting your tokens on the map layer on accident here. Let's fix
Should we be
that.
looking towards the top or the bottom?
1 second here.
Take your time.
How do we do the
I see me.
And I apologize for it looking like it's sunny, but there is still the night vision that's required there. So it will look like it's bright sunny, but it's not.
Oh, nice beach.
Mine's black.
Mine's
Also
gray.
black.
Really? Okay, hold
I
on.
think it's so lucky.
black.
So, okay.
Is he the dog?
Who said they
Since
can't
he can
see?
only see gray.
Bodie, Jeremy,
Okay.
Me.
So
and Jody.
it is dark. It's nighttime. So is there any light source and who's utilizing it?
My sword is a glowing sword. Let me think of the name.
Gloom stalkers have night vision 60, right? Or 120? Jeremy?
60, I believe.
I have the superior night vision, so I could see all the way to the end of the map in gray. It's gray.
Cool. Yeah, dim light. That's fine.
I have a moon touch sword.
Okay, and you have it activated?
60.
Yeah, if it's dark, then yeah, I'd have it activated.
And
I
it
can't see it at night.
should be showing up as such. Yeah, it's showing active.
Call me old-fashioned. I'll have lit a torch.
Oh, wait.
if
No,
we're traveling
I
by
see.
night.
It emits like a torch, you said. Okay, cool. This should fix it. Everybody see.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that's perfect.
Oh,
Great.
boy.
Okay.
Wow.
And you said you had superior dark vision?
Yeah. So it's 120, right?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, I see sort of a whitish, tannish going, and then a greenish around the edges. Is that right?
We're on a beach. It's
Yeah, that
water.
sounds about right.
Got it.
Okay.
Yes, that makes sense.
As you're kind of making your way, feel free to arrange yourself as you would in kind of a marching order. Try to kind of keep in and around like the same kind of area. Don't be too crazy.
Can't put my toes in the water.
If you want to stand close to the water, you
You
can.
do it in front of me.
Absolutely fine.
Youth has never been to the coast before.
Didn't know water could be bigger than me.
I find that hard to believe you've lived in Penford for a year, so
I never made it out here.
He didn't turn that way.
that's fine, I guess then. But yeah, if that's your kind of marching pattern, as you're kind of moving down the coast and keeping an eye out, those of you who are keenly perceptive will notice it after the fact. A massive javelin slams into the ground near Ezekiel. And as you see it hit, you all realize that it came from the water. As you kind of look out that way, the moon and star-lit waters and waves, currently calm, start to break. And you can see shapes coming up out of them, humanoid-like shapes.
Oh, she.
Looks like about 5 of them moving towards you.
I thought I was going to enjoy this walk.
Where'd the javelin come from? Out of the water?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It looks like one of them is definitely the leader, because you rolled a 20 and they get one.
Oh no.
All right.
There are too many of them.
Why is it showing me? Oh, because they have vision. That's so dumb. No,
It's
I
kind of a
don't.
fair fight, right? 5 on 6.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm like a -1.
They got a leader. We got a leader.
Yeah, Ezekiel, he's the leader, right? He's really tall and he's all hurrah
Harry.
conglomerate.
Has
Thought
the
it was
most
you.
hair.
I thought it was you.
I will
Okay.
lead you to the bar. That's about it.
Go ahead and give me initiative rolls while we are setting up here.
I can roll initiative and then boom, skill trick. It's a game sense. Oh hell yeah, look at that. Skill trick, insight, combat intuition. Assess the challenge by a single monster or the leader. The DM will tell me if the creature's challenge rating is less than or equal to my character level of 3.
Less than or equal to or higher, right?
Less than, equal to, or greater.
Greater.
Oh my god, it's CR high monster and his minions.
Yeah, let's say that, sure. Okay, so bear with me here. As the leader, he goes and his lessers go 5 after him.
What are we looking at?
What do you mean? Oh, again,
I'm trying to figure out what the creatures are. They're just on the edge of like visibility.
they
are they
appear to
the
be
Sunwalker?
humanoid-like shapes in the shadows. At current, that's all you can see. Rolling Rock, you're first. They definitely do look like some sort of mer or like aquatic creature. Their heads do look like they're quite a bit larger than yours and your groups. And they do appear to be brandishing strange looking kind of aquatic weapon.
All right. I'm gonna step in front of Bodhi and Ant-Man. Sorry, I already forgot his name. Nyx. Bodhi and Nyx. And then I'm gonna raise my crucible above my head, my holy symbol. I'm gonna say, feel the strength of the earth, and I'm gonna cast Bless. I will bless you there, Silas and Ezekiel. I think I get 3 targets.
Okay, go ahead, and those of you who were blessed, select your token and then add a yellow circle pip to it. It'll take up a lot of your thing, but just keep that noted.
Yeah, for flavor's sake, the sand around you starts to kind of, like little big granules of sand kind of start to swirl around you guys, around your arms or your legs, wherever you are going to be using your weapon.
Actually, you don't have to add the circle pips. I have something I can do on my side to keep notes of it. Go ahead and remove those if you don't like them.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Shillelagh.
Okay.
And then, so my crucible is still raised above my head. The facial outline just starts to kind of glow with primal, kind of a greenish brown magic, just primal energies course through it.
Okay. The leader of the group appears to be enraged by this and kind of rushes into the fray. It appears to dash out of the water very suddenly and kind of jump up past Uther, whose toes are in the water. It doesn't look like it's able to get its full itinerary, just some sort of nature of being able to attack after a dash. And the weapon he brings to bear appears to be a flat sheet of metal or metal-like substance that seems to kind of waver as he's moving it towards you. And as he lashes at you, it kind of moves with a fluidity you're not expecting of a sword. He's going to make several attacks. Or one attack, sorry. 13 hit your armor class?
Scale mail, so I'm 16.
Sparks fly in the night as this blade slashes across the scale, and he kind of drops the blade down and it kind of reverberates into a straight pattern again.
Ah, you bastard, you'll regret that.
Uther, you're up.
I will do some stuff.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I've never played a ranger before. Give me a second.
No, you're good. I've never played a sorcerer. Out of our elements. Suplex that son of a bitch fish back into the ocean.
Oh, Uther, make a perception for free.
23.
He ran past you like he couldn't see you there. It's nighttime.
Oh, you're a stealth boy.
You're
You're an invisible giant. That's the raddest shit I ever heard.
Oh yeah, it's because he's the Gloomstalker. You're invisible at night.
Yeah, if they're relying on dark vision, which they very much are.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna dread ambush this dude in the back of the head with a sword.
Okay.
He's not gonna see it coming.
You're also blessed.
10.
You're
Roll
gonna
a
need that
D4.
blessing.
Actually, don't roll a d4. It's not worth it.
Oh.
He's not getting touched.
I'll make the second attack from the dread ambusher.
Okay.
13.
You attack from behind as the blade is kind of pulling out. Everyone can kind of
Would he
hear.
roll his D4 on that? Would it matter? No.
It might. Roll a d4 on that last one because he has advantage.
Plus 4.
That hits.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark this guy.
Yeah, for flavor's sake, the sand around your arms kind of like guided you to strike true. The earth pushed.
Is it the same D4 added to damage or no?
No, just regular damage. So 6. Okay. So you draw the blade, and you actually see his head kind of tilt to the side as it happens. And as the flash of steel kind of comes towards him for the first attack, he seems to kind of move and block with a pauldron. He then kind of turns to look at you, and you just stab him in the chest. you know he's not capable of seeing you, and he looks confused as if he's being stabbed by midair. Any movement that you'd like to take?
Hold on. He takes an extra D8 damage of the weapon's damage type.
Oh, because you favored entity him?
No, that's from the Dread Ambusher, the second
Dread
attack.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
The favorite enemy was what I was asked about for the D4.
Oh.
I was marking him.
Oh, okay. So that's the favorite foe feature, right?
Yes.
Is what it's called. Let's take a look at that together and work through it. Let's see here.
I mark when I hit, and then each attack, including that one, is 1d4 extra damage.
Okay, so that'd be separate from Bless. So go ahead and roll that d4 then. Okay.
1. Okay, Bless was the one that I didn't hear it happen, but I knew
Bless
something
got
was
you the
happening.
hit, though.
Yeah.
Bless
Yeah,
got you
yeah.
hit for sure.
That's why I was confused. There was a couple D4s happening.
You did the right thing.
Any movement?
If they can't see me, no, I think I'm good where I am.
Okay. As you kind of bury the blade, you see this one kind of move up to the shore and kind of looking at the situation. It looks like he's trying to catch what's going on. And you actually watch as he kind of shifts his eyes with sideways lenses and is kind of looking around. And you do seem to think that this one here, gets it. This one moves up to here. And this one moves over to here. And this last one will move straight into Rolling Rock. The one that moves into Rolling Rock will attack with a spear and a bite. 14 misses, and his bite, a 13 misses. This one here is going to throw a spear at Silas. 5 misses. And this one here will also throw a spear at Silas. 21 will hit. Silas, you take 5 points of piercing
Silvery
damage.
Barbs. I cast a reaction spell.
Okay. It gives him
He has to reroll that attack.
Reroll the attack? Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
Got him.
Okay, so as you see the first spear kind of move, Silas, you kind of jump to the side, you turn towards the shore, and you see the next spear, and it's coming right for your chest. You then hear Bodhi quickly throw up a spell, and you see the winds manifest into kind of these sharp, grasping tendrils and kind of move the spear aside, just slightly jaunting its existence, causing it to fly past you instead of slam into you.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
I give him the benefit.
Nyx, you are up. Oh yeah, so on your next roll, Chody,
You have basically advantage on your next attack or saving throw.
Cool.
Nyx, you're up.
Yeah, Nyx is going to give one of his. He's going to do Bardic Inspiration. We'll do that for Ezekiel.
It's a buff party? Are we
It is.
all
There's a
buff
lot of
supporters?
buffs, and then he looks towards the leader one, and you see him really he starts to rub his legs together really fast, and you hear a weird sound come out. And so he's going to do a sharp note attack. 22 to hit.
All right, that will hit. You watch as a wave of just air kind of moves towards the leader and strikes him, and a bit of blood kind of splashes out from the notes.
And then I'm going to take some movement to move back a little bit and out of the way.
Perfect. Next up is Ezekiel.
So you have that Bardic Inspiration die. It's a D6.
Okay.
Who got that? That was Ezekiel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for the leader because he's the biggest one of the group.
Okay. Just Jeremy and Chody are probably like, oh god, no, kill the minions.
He's doing great.
It's okay.
Yes, don't worry, it's perfect
Go for the
plan.
leader. Go for the leader.
We love it.
I respect it.
Chody's first ever D&D character and the first death ever.
Okay.
14 will miss.
I do have the whatchamacallit?
Bardic
D6.
Inspiration.
D6.
And
D6.
you're blessed.
Yeah, and I'm blessed.
A D6 and a D4.
So roll a D4. Miss still.
15.
Now roll my d6.
That'll
Yep.
hit.
5.
Hey, perfect. That's 5 slashing damage.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm just checking something real fast. Nah, that's it.
Okay. As you move in and strike this leader type, the sword definitely appears to be very strange. Definitely craftsmanship that is very beyond you, and even you, Rolling Rock. It is not something that you've ever seen before. The other thing you notice about the leader is on his belt, he has a number of different flasks that are kind of set in his belt like a bandolier, or like a holder for these flasks in specific. Some of them appear to have liquid in them. One of them appears to have some sort of piece of parchment in it. All right, Ezekiel, moving on to Bodhi.
Bodhi is going to retreat. Jealous of the ant. And I will also cast Bless on the 3 of us that did not get so lucky. First.
Everyone in the
pass
party
around.
is blessed.
I'm
Hell
gonna
yeah.
cast it here and then fall back to the location. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and then any bonus actions from you or no?
Whoops. I don't think I have any bonus actions I can take.
Okay, Silas, you are up. The 2 on the coast just threw spears at you. The leaders being encircled by the rest of your group. How would you like to proceed?
The thorns aren't still persisting, are they?
The barbs, you mean?
Barbs, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's basically a one and done. It changes fate for a second and then adds that fate to you. So when you attack, the advantage will be explained by the barbs shifting your weapon to hit, if it does.
Perfect. I'm going to pull my sword and with a scream of rage and run up on this one and attack.
Okay.
Okay, that's 14. I get my 4 as well.
No, 14 hits.
Okay.
So go ahead. Oh, the damage is 14. Okay. And did you say you were raging or no?
Yes, I was raging.
And is this damage including the rage damage? Yes, it is.
Oh, does it automatically include it?
It looks like it's
2 mod.
Yeah, there's a 2 mod in there. So I assume that's the case. I'll have to look at it. There's supposed to be like a rage marker that you can indicate, but no worries.
I'm not seeing it. So, rage damage down here at the bottom.
Yeah, you should be able to check mark that, but it looks like
it is not check marked currently.
Okay. Oh no, you have martial slayer, right? Or slashing. Got it. So actually, it's going to be 2 more, so 16. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you rush towards him, slam the blade into his chest. You watch as the barbs kind of force it to strike true, and as you hit him, he falls backwards, kind of into the sand, and kind of quickly gets back up a little bit. And you see him kind of reaching towards his back for another spear. He seems to have like a bundle of them in a thing. Rolling Rock, you're up.
Quiver.
That's the word I wanted. Thank you.
All right. Still holding my crucible in my head like I'm Donkey Kong or something. Just you see Rolling Rock's like the veins in his biceps kind of tense, and he like focuses more primal energy into. I'm gonna enchant Totem, and then he says a chant. I'll raise my brew well and true in hopes to be rid of the likes of you. And I'm going to smash it down on the guy in front of me.
Fucking love it.
When did you start rhyming? We've known each other.
Oh no, I've critically failed. It was so cool until that moment.
Does anybody have inspiration that they want to throw out towards that roll?
Yeah, I'll do it. I don't want him to fail.
When did you get inspiration?
I made a Scooby-Doo joke like 2 months ago.
Damn it.
Does the 14 good, or do I need to roll the bless?
14's good.
And then enchant Totem damage. Oh, another 4, so 18.
All right. You hit him well and true, and he falters backwards and kind of slowly gets back up. He's still holding the spear from before. And yeah, they're basically, as they're coming back up to their footing, they're baring their teeth at you and like hissing. This kind of like wet sounding kind of from the sides of their neck. All right, it goes to the
Ew.
Right. It goes to the Blade Master.
Fish are gross, man.
You watch as he takes the blade and kind of raises it over his head. it seems like the weight of the tip kind of droops it just a little bit, and then he spins the blade outwards in kind of like a whip-like pattern around himself. As he does so, he's going to make 3 attacks, 1 against each of you that are adjacent.
Can you see me?
He's not so much targeting you, it's more of kind of like swinging at random, so I will have disadvantage on the attack.
Got it.
The first attack would be against, we'll start with Rolling Rock, 14 to hit.
16 AC.
Okay. And against Ezekiel, 17 to hit.
19 AC.
And against you, 11 to hit. So those all miss. He's just winding the blade up. It's a massively telegraphed attack. You see it coming. You're able to kind of move out of the way very quickly. And he doesn't hit anybody. He then, in his anger... No, that's it. All he's got. Wrong guy. There's several.
I could ask for.
There's several shark folk, or Thaugen, that I have been reading. Uther, you're up.
I stab him.
Okay, just so you know, the one that Rolling Rock hit is bleeding a lot.
But I have this one marked already.
Go with it.
12 to hit.
You still have advantage because he does not see you, so 17.
Nice.
Which will miss. You were blessed,
But he's
though,
still
so roll
blessed.
a d4. Don't need to. One would
18
do it.
was the thing, I think.
18 is the AC. We've learned the AC. So 7 plus...
Outstanding Uther.
7 plus 3, and then the second attack I get from being a Dreadgut does 10.
And blessed.
And bless.
Plus what have...
And an extra...
Right.
And a D8.
From Dreadful.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of damage. He definitely looks like he's been cut up quite a bit, but it doesn't look like he's like at that point where he's bleeding. All right, it goes to the shark folk. This one here was the one that did not see, so he's going to move in behind Silas. This one's going to jump up and throw his... Okay, first attack against Silas. It's going to be spear and then bite. Both attacks will miss. And then the one that is seeing Uther is trying to protect the leader. He is going to throw his spear. He has disadvantage for the attack, not because he can't see Uther, but because he is in melee. Even still, he hits a 17. Does that hit Uther?
Yeah.
4 points of piercing damage. As it hits, you can hear him saying something in the Sahuagin language and kind of yelling it out to him. And at that moment, Uther, you see the leader kind of annoyedly kind of looking at where the spear struck, and you can see the side lenses of his eyes kind of shake apart and kind of close out, and you can see that he's now kind of looking at you.
That's gross. Don't do that.
That is so gross.
This one here is going to move up, and they're both going to attack Rolling Rock. Spear, spear. Bite, bite. Neither of them hit. Not a one time. Pretty good fate and fortune for you folks on these dice roll. Next, you are up. What would you like to do?
We're going to move to right there. And we will do this.
Okay.
We'll cast sleep.
Now that is a area effect, and you should have a spell template in handouts.
Oh boy, I
under
think I did it
miscellaneous.
right. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, this is very exciting to try to do this. Spell templates.
There's the template.
Hold on, I could find it.
I set it out on the map. You can use that one.
Oh, you okay? This one?
The big
I cannot control it.
That's a lie. You're a liar.
I can't control it.
Oh, I see. All right, try now.
Yes, baby. I get all of them.
Okay,
So all of the enemies.
that's fine. Ezekiel, what's your hit point total?
22.
Okay, then you'll be fine.
But it's enemies only, right?
No.
What? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Everybody's taking a nap.
Is it really everybody?
It does not care. It's creatures within 20 feet of a point. It's okay. Every time we cast sleep, this is what we come to. It's fine, though. Ezekiel has more hit points than the number. And I don't think anybody is wounded beneath a 19 level. So that said, I'm removing it, and I will let you know that only one of the creatures is put to unconsciousness.
It's the bleeding one.
Which one?
The one,
The one that he bonked.
Okay, doke.
Actually, two of them. It would be the one that you bonked, and it would be the one that, Silas bonked. Trying to find my sleep. There it is.
Better
That's
than
so
nothing.
comic booky.
Okay.
I thought it was only the ones I chose. Sorry.
Nope. It's
Yeah,
a.
You're
So
learning.
sorry.
It's okay.
We run into spells we don't understand every dang day.
Every dang day. Ezekiel, you are up. So the one that Rolling Rock was fighting is unconscious. The leader is not bloodied yet.
Okay. I guess I could hit the unconscious one.
You have advantage.
22.
He dies.
I'm going to action surge.
Okay.
'Cause I forgot I had that, and I'm going to hit the leader since he's the only one in my attack thing. Another 22
That'll hit. For
for 6 slashing damage.
All right. It's at this point he is now bloodied. All right. Ezekiel done. Bodhi, you're up.
Looking at Uther being all exposed out there. Can I see him?
Are you relying on dark vision to see right now?
No, I
Then
don't
no.
have dark vision.
Then absolutely not. So basically how the Gloomstalker's ability works is if you're relying on dark vision, you cannot see Uther. Period.
Okay.
Which is why when they ran up, they were in night vision
I'm
shark mode.
relying on Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Also, Andy has no idea
He is
where
our
I am.
seeing eye dog right now.
Yeah, Nyx has no idea if he's focusing on his dark
Really?
vision.
Like I can't see him, but we've known each other long enough that like we kind of know how he.
You can people who have dark vision can shift their vision to see normal in light. The difference between normal vision and dark vision is as follows. Dark vision allows you to see in the dark, but you do not see color. When you shift out of that, you see light and color.
I guess what I'm asking would be asking Jeremy is if this is a trick that he would have shared, knowing that there's people in our party with dark vision.
We've known him for a
We've probably
time.
run into this at some point, but it's
Yes.
pretty funny to just disappear in the middle of the night.
Okay, yeah. So
Right
not
in
like,
front of
did
him.
he run away? What happened? No, we know
I'm
this is
real
his
interested
tactic.
in this new spell I've never done before. So, Vortex Warp, I'm going to snag him out of that dangerous spot and put him right in front of me just because I like being at the very back.
Who? Uther?
The Loot Uther.
He can willingly choose to fail. Do you want to remove yourself from the combat, Jeremy, or do you want to stay in it?
Nah, I'm going. It's fine.
So you watch as Uther vanishes, and the two who can see you watch you vanish. The other ones see magic appear there and think it's hostile and like kind of but it just sends an invisible assailant away from them. All right. Any other actions, Bodhi?
I'm gonna step just beside him.
All right. Silas, the one that you were fighting is unconscious, and a fresh one is to your side attacking
All right,
you.
I'm gonna spin and hit the fresh one.
Okay. That'll hit.
15.
And that'll do pretty good damage there. All right. Cool.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to Hungry Jaws him.
Yes.
Hell yeah!
How do you feed a hungry man?
You just make a bite attack for that. And then heal a number of hit points. That'll hit, and that'll kill. So you turn around, dragging the greatsword across the sand, kind of shooting it up a bit, and slam him in the chest. As he's about to fall away from you, you snap forward and just grab his face, biting into and breaking his teeth and the top of his head, chunking down, and then just throwing him to the side as you kind of... He does taste pretty good, but definitely needs a little bit more time on the boil.
Sushis and sashimis.
I do not support shark fin soup. I
Ought
hear
to be
it's,
good though.
I hear it's tasty. I do hear it's tasty.
They wouldn't be doing that fucked up shit if it weren't delicious.
Rolling Rock. You are up.
I will try to bonk this guy.
Absolutely. Just a good old regular attack.
Just a good old regular
15 hits.
hit. 13 damage. Bonked him on the noggin with a giant faced rock.
Just keep dropping the stein onto people. Absolutely awesome. Done with your turn, right?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. The leader, annoyed, is going to focus his attention, kind of turns the blade and kind of causes it to kind of roil a bit and kind of start waving before he swings. Then he brings the blade in towards the cleric, and he's going to make 3 attacks against Rolling Rock specifically.
Oh no.
All right. First attack will miss. Second attack will hit. Any reactions in response?
I don't think.
Silver barbs.
Zoom. Does a 17 hit Rolling Rock?
Yeah, I have 16.
Fates do not shift to allow for the miss. The advantage goes to who?
You 3, you're up next.
Yeah. Okay. So
Hell
you,
yeah.
you have advantage
Should
on
have
your
broke good for that.
and
They
then
can
the
do
last
it
attack. The last attack will also hit. No more reactions, right? I know one other player has.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I will use it.
So as you watch the first kind of strike, it kind of hits with a wobble and bounces off of the scale, but then he kind of snaps the blade. The silvery barbs come up as Bodhi sees it, but it still manages to kind of cut across Rolling Rock's cheek, cutting a little bit of the beard as well.
Oh, you bastard.
That's not okay.
And then as he kind of like lets that whip up, he brings the whole blade down, and as he puts that force in the wrists, Nick sees the blade go perfectly straight and coming down like an executioner's blade. He throws up the silvery barbs, which cause the blade to kind of wobble a bit and kind of slap against him in a non-consistent way. The one attack that did hit does 12 slashing damage.
And we're gonna give the advantage to
It sounds like,
Uther.
yeah. Well, Uther already has advantage on his next attack. If you give him it,
Oh, okay. Is Rolling Rock next?
Rolling
He
Rock
just finished.
just
Okay.
finished.
So then we'll give
You
it
can
to
give it to
Ezekiel.
yourself.
I can give
It's
it.
you.
I'll give it to myself. Sure, I'll give it to myself.
Yeah. Okay, so he's done. Uther, you're up.
I will drop my sword into the sand and ask Bodhi if he could grab that for me if he's got a hand free, and draw my bow and take a
Heavy.
shot at the leader.
Okay.
That looks so heavy.
10 will miss.
10.
He has
Yes.
advantage.
He has advantage.
22.
Oh, from the barbs, yes. Correct. That'll hit, and that'll do a bit of damage there.
Plus 4 on that one.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and dread into this. I don't think that one's going to make it.
No.
No.
7 plus.
And Dread Ambusher's prerequisite is what for the second attack?
I just make a second attack, but the second attack gets a D8 only if it hits.
Okay. I'll double check that myself a little later here, but
Yeah, you're not
There you
cheating
go.
that 7 away.
at the start of your first turn each combat, if you take the attack action on that turn, not every turn,
Ooh, that's hella
It's-
situational.
just turn 1.
What?
Yeah.
Well, that's shitty then.
It's really good, actually, for the first part. Uther done, Sahugan up. All right, so this one here is panicking, and I am going to make a wisdom saving throw, as he is absolutely fucking frightened of the situation and realizes his leader is leading him into death. He is going to take the disengage action. He's going to move 10 feet and hit the water. The second he does, he immediately goes into his swim speed, and he will then move 30 feet. So he's right there, but he's descended into the water enough that he's like a good 5 feet underwater. It looks like the leader is very upset by this and is yelling what you presume are obscenities. Nix, you are up.
Like
Yeah,
it
we're
makes
gonna
me-
use that. We're gonna use that advantage and cast chromatic orb. He's gonna throw a ball of lightning.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your
21
target
to hit.
was the leader?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. That'll hit. Absolutely solid damage. Kind of pulverizes him quite a bit. The shock sends him down to one knee. Yeah, he is almost there, you guys. Ezekiel, you are up. And you do not have advantage.
Nope.
Still blessed.
Still blessed, though. Roll d4.
I missed.
That'll miss.
God.
Level shit.
It was bound
I
to
should have
happen.
done more damage. Shoot.
Why is that?
Because it's one of the Psionic Legacy spells, and it should do its second level. And I did it at first. Poop.
No, it's definitely being cast.
Was that cast?
Oh, I see. Base cast second level. So then roll a d8. That much more. Yeah, and I'll
Thank you.
when you cast it next time, just set it to second.
Okay, doke.
Ezekiel done. Bodhi, you're up.
How's everybody looking out on the battlefield? Mostly fresh, I think.
Mhm.
Guess I'll mind sliver the guy. Hell with him.
All right.
See a DC 13 save out of him, huh?
He fails it, and as you see the arcane needle appear above him and kind of lance into his head, you watch as his tongue kind of flails out of his mouth, and his head kind of starts twisting left to right as he drops into the sand, dead.
God damn, Bodhi, what'd you do?
We did it. Also, there's that guy
Yes.
sleeping over there. We're not done.
Yeah, he is very much unconscious.
Silas, take him for questioning.
He is very much at the point where a single blow would kill him. You did notice that they weren't very competent in dialogue when it came to the common tongue. So it's up to you if you want to have conversation time with him. But I'm going to presume no one follows up on the one that's escaping. Is that right?
That's fast. That's real fast.
Yeah, Silas would have to move into the water to chase, and Rolling Rock would have to move into the water to chase. Is Silas chasing? No?
No, he's going to focus on the one sleeping.
You're going to kill it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Don't roll any dice. Yeah, it's a good old-fashioned, just, like, it shows the camera from his angle as he's snoring, and then the blade causes it to cut to black.
He's going to, like, slowly straddle him and sit down on him and have the sword and kind of slide it into his side. And then as he opens his eyes, he's going to, like, just see his mouth come down on his face and rip it to pieces.
Hey, buddy.
Yep.
Love it. Okay. Amazing first showing. So removing all the turns there. Immediately after the combat, I will note that experience will be handed out at the end of each combat. You cannot level until you make it to a resting point where there is a well of souls.
There.
So the total experience here would be 400 for the lackeys plus.
Are we keeping track of the number until we get to the soul or the soul? Oh, excuse me.
You'll add it to your experience on your primary character sheet, not your spirit character sheet.
Okay.
Actually, I'm thinking leveling can happen outside of the Well of Souls. You can wherever you take a long rest. So if this levels you, this levels you. And if you rest, you rest. I don't think it would be fair. 2,700 divided by 6 is 450 each. All right. And moving us back into the map zone.
Good work, everyone.
At this point, you would note a couple of different ways you can go. You can certainly...
Sorry, before we abandon these cadavers, that guy got like a note on him. He had potions and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And we like...
you know,
Flasks.
Good calls. So yeah, everyone's kind of winding down. If you are working together to kind of explore what's available here,
We're going to reach into the soggy pockets, right?
I just want to read that. Read that. Like
I'm interested in the
message
sword
bottle.
for sure.
There are about
Silas got into that soggy
Silas
bucket.
spit on him.
There are about 7 spears. There's the Wave Cutter Blade, which is a great sword. However, it functions a bit differently than a normal great sword. It does not require special proficiency. If you're proficient with a great sword, you can use it. However, it has special rules. I will get those to you here in a second. The potions on the person, quick checking would note that they are all potions of healing. And then the bottle that had a notation in it instead of a fluid substance appears to have a recipe inside of it. As you kind of pull it out and look to it, it appears to be a recipe for a potion of ogre strength.
Ooh.
Ooh. Who is the Bodhi? Was our alchemist?
That's an alchemy thing, I assume.
It is.
I'll copy that down into my notes. Guys, I'm gonna make so many of these for myself.
Oh, and sorry, there would be exactly one potion of ogre strength on his person.
I mean,
So a total of 3 potions of healing, 1 potion of ogre strength, the recipe.
how do we want to portion these out? I'll take the recipe, which makes sense.
I had bought a few potions of healing already, so I don't need one.
I'll more than happily take the lot.
That'd be best because you're in the back anyway, so you could be like, oh crap, somebody did it, and
Yeah.
using the new spell could just bring them to you to heal them.
There's 3 potions of healing base
Clever, yeah.
and a potion of ogre strength.
Okay. So
Thank you.
I will note, in your current position, if you're to travel any further, it will require Constitution saving throws to resist exhaustion. It is late. You have been traveling for a while, and you've made it to this point specifically.
Sleepy times.
If you wish to sleep here, understand that the encounter you just had could be on repeat for 3 watches of the night, depending on your rolls. If you'd like, you can travel in one of the 3 available directions, possibly 4 available directions. It's night, but the stars are very bright this evening, and so is the moon. And you can kind of see a bit of your way. It looks like there is another pass that leads up to and around where Farod Pass is located. Looks like a winding kind of series of switchbacks, my favorite word in the world, that leads up to Farod Pass from the sandy area instead of around and up to where the Bandit Bridge was and then down into the pass. So you can kind of move north from where you're at. It looks like there's a more mountainous region. It's a lot of tall crags and stony spires in this area. To the south, it looks like there's a cliff face. The cliff seems to rise up from where you're at. You can kind of follow the cliff up and head this way, or you can follow the cliff on the coast and head that way instead. And then in the darkness, you can see that there are some strange islands that look like they're off the coast, just south of you. And they're too far out to kind of make out anything, but they're very strange little dots out in the ocean, kind of gleaming in the reflection of the moon. So how would you like to proceed? You can, of
Does
course,
the ranger have any survival skills that he could use to help us either find a safe place to camp or kind of make us so we're less visible?
so we know moving forward, making a camp in the wild requires a survival check. If you're trained in survival, you can assist a person making a survival check, but you cannot otherwise.
I can assist.
And the survival check in question will determine the DC required for any assailants determined by a random encounter in finding you and ambushing you. You're effectively setting the perception DC for my ambushers. If it's high,
I think we'd be better off moving a little closer to that mountain region. I can move through that a little better.
Okay.
So you are going to basically push yourselves here. I'd like everyone to make a Constitution saving throw. The DC is 10.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God.
You want to spend any inspiration?
We don't have any.
Okay. So you will be exhausted. as you move
Con's
into
my
this,
best stat. I failed that.
into this region. Hold on a second here. Oh, I moved too far. All right.
Con, I guess, is technically tied for third.
Okay. So as you make it there, the nature of the area is surprisingly still and quiet. And the nature of these spires and kind of rock formations is very much the case that there are a lot of places for you kind of to tuck away. But there's also a lot of areas where it feels like you could possibly be presented with an ambush. Despite that, as you kind of enter into the space, you realize that there's really not any cavities that you're finding here that are filled with enemies or creatures. Jeremy, go ahead and have Uther make a survival check. And if anyone has survival trained, you can assist.
How long have we traveled into the mountainous area here?
About 10. Again, each hex is about 15 miles, so probably about 5.
In a duration. Give me a duration of time.
Close to like 4 hours.
Okay, because after 1, my mountain stuff kicks in.
Okay. Mountain stuff isn't, so you already have advantage.
Difficult terrain will not slow us down. We cannot become lost in here.
Yep.
We're alert even while engaged in other activities.
And I believe you have advantage on specific checks while here.
Proficiency is doubled.
Yeah. Okay, that's what it is. So go ahead and make a survival roll. Is anybody helping?
I will help.
And you're trained in it, so then perfect. You have advantage, and your proficiency +2 is doubled. So survival. Okay, so 15
17.
+2, 17. Perfect. You manage to find a nice little cubby hole, kind of set inside of a kind of strangely shaped stone segment, and then it's to your back, almost like a turtle shell, and you're facing out towards the cliff face, and can kind of see a bit down the cliff as well. From your vantage point here, at this height, as you're kind of setting up the camp, directly below you, some 200, 300 feet or so, a good distance down, it looks like there is a series of kind of cliffs down at the base that look like they have a decent amount of traffic to them. And you can see a couple of small boats, maybe a mile or so down the way in the moonlight, that look like they're kind of, from other vantage points, they'd be harder to see, but from your current position this high up, they're pretty easy to see. You would also note that to your south, it looks like there is an old road, and it does look like the crags and such move into kind of a mountain pass to the south-southwest. But if your intent is to go ahead and take a rest, do so. Somebody make, it's going to be, for this specific location, a single D20 roll.
Not it.
Ezekiel.
Okie dokie.
Go, Brent.
9.
Okay. So you
That's better.
gain the benefits of a long rest. Absolutely fine. If
So
you
exhausted gun.
Yes. If you're capable of leveling, you can do so.
Oh, I can level. Ooh,
Was that
exciting.
750 including, or the 450 including the gold dragon bonus?
Oh,
Ooh.
thank you.
I don't know if it would matter much, but just in case.
It is 525.
What is the gold dragon bonus?
It increases
It just
experience.
doubles our XP, not doubles, but
That's just for your character?
No,
all of
everyone.
us.
Oh, shit.
What? So how much more did we get?
No, not double.
25.
Sorry, no, you're right. So 900. 900.
We each got
900
900
each?
experience?
Correct.
Okay, so an additional
On-
450.
Okay.
900 total.
From the base we started.
Instead of 450, 900.
Yeah, everybody already added the number, so they just want the second half.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
put 450 more.
You're right. You're correct.
What if I subtracted?
God damn it.
Ooh, I leveled.
Me too.
Yeah, if you go ahead and quickly do so. It shouldn't be too huge a level. For this game, we're actually not doing average hit points. We're rolling.
Well, thanks for
Rolling.
the heads
Do you
up.
want me to roll real quick? Just hit the roll button.
Yep. And then once you've
Oh, you're
rolled,
kidding me.
once you've rolled, you decide whether you want to keep your dice roll or you want me
I'll
to
take-
roll a dice and you take that.
You roll, John. I rolled a 1.
And
I got
bards
a 9.
get D8s.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled an 8 for Andy.
Oh,
Uther, you're sticking with yours, I presume. 9 out of 10 is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm keeping that.
10 out of 12 is pretty good too, Jody. I wouldn't test fate
I'm
on
gonna
that.
say
Yeah, I'm gonna keep mine.
He's
too.
a
I got
gambler.
8.
All right.
do here.
Bodhi, you did not level, right?
Those are
So since I rolled that and I just hit next, it'll automatically put that in there, or do I need to
Hopefully,
type it in
but
there?
do the math afterwards. So 3rd level barbarian with base averaging to start would have 12 plus 6 plus, or sorry, 12 plus 7 plus 7. So 26,
26.
plus your con modifier times 3. What's your con mod?
I have a 14.
So plus 2, so plus 6, and then plus 10, and then plus 2. Your hit point total should be 44.
44.
44, right?
Yeah. Is that what it says?
I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still
Okay.
going through this stuff.
No problem.
Congratulations, everyone.
And to put a quick point to it, because I'm assuming there will be a watch cycle, but again, because you're in a specific location that is considered safe, I will notate that with a icon too, real quick.
I need to hit those quote marks so hard.
It's shown as 42, John.
It should be 44.
Okay, well, I'm going to change that.
Yep, that's fine. So what you'll note is during your watch cycles here, you can see that there is a method for you to get back to Farad Pass. It looks like you can kind of see into the canyon where the pass is located and see down it from this vantage point a bit as the sun begins to rise. You'd also note that you can see the coast of the Rima River to the west. And you can also see that down in that area, it looks like there is a large mobilization of cavalrymen. And you can see standards and banners that mark them as the Riders of Aeonis. I will also notate that marker for you, so you are aware of what hex that is in. As mentioned, to the southwest, it looks like there's some sort of cliffside retreat or something that's kind of hidden away, tucked away. And then directly south of you, the pass leads down the mountain a little bit. It kind of stays off of the craggier portions, but still stays on the high point of the cliff. And then there's the mountain pass that moves southwest. So just determining which direction you want to go, you can. You'd also note from this vantage point during the daylight that you can see further out and can see kind of out onto the coast. Those 3 islands look like they're kind of a ways away from the coast and might require a boat to be able to get to if you're interested in going there.
Real fast. When I leveled up and I got my Rune Carver subclass, or my Rune Knight subclass, I got the Stone Rune, which gives me Dark Vision out to 120 feet.
I'll add it.
So when a recipe says it requires 1 day of downtime, is that like 24 hours?
So
Or is that like
a day of downtime is an 8-hour activity. You cannot do anything besides downtime activity when you're downtiming activity. That's the way I phrase it. That's what we're going. So if you want to do build stuff, you need to spend a day doing it, and others will need to do downtime activities as well.
Okay, so like it's not really something you could do overnight unless you like straight up didn't sleep.
Correct. You will have to become exhausted. That's right.
Okay.
What'd you say your night vision is now?
120 feet.
Okay.
So can we have the stats on that sword? I probably won't use it because it's a great sword. So go to the Barbarian.
Wave Cutter Sword does 2d8 damage instead of 2d6 damage. On a roll of a natural 1, it's broken. Period. And it's something that requires special skill to repair. Additionally, if you miss an attack roll during your turn with the weapon on the next, or during your next turn, any attacks made with the weapon are made with disadvantage.
That would be probably good for me because if I'm raging, that
Reckless.
just means I'm doing normal.
Yeah, you do not need to make. You do not need to enter a rage to reckless attack. Reckless
I
attack can be done
understand.
at random. Yeah.
But I'm saying either one, I can do it to where I'm just flat instead of disadvantage.
Correct.
Yeah, so you should definitely take that.
And it's called what, John?
Wave Cutter. Great sword. It is non-magical. And I don't seem to have my item card for it. So I apologize. I remember it. I will remember it.
Okay, so you just want to add it when you can, or do you want me to go ahead and
Just make a greatsword with 2d8s instead of 2d6s as like a subset. If it rolls a 1, it breaks, and if you miss, you have disadvantage on your next attack.
Okay, 2d8.
So if at any time we see ogres, if you guys could bring some toes back home for me.
Did you just make that?
You got it.
I love it. Okay.
I just need the toes.
So,
It does make them lighter.
do you wish to proceed? And so you obviously spent some time traveling. You're not waking up dead morning. So during this next day, half of your travel will be during the day, the latter portion of it, kind of afternoon, and then if you continue traveling, it'll be during the evening. So just know that your sleep schedule is weird now.
I was already nocturnal.
Fair. Absolutely
I
fair.
can see in the dark now, so I'm cool with it.
So that said, does everybody understand the options that are on offer? And if so, do you want to discuss the merits of going which way and which direction?
Where is our end goal? Did we ever decide if we're doing sabotaging at the bridge or we're going to Ionis itself?
No, we didn't. I think our goal was we were going to make it to the bridge, see what the bridge was like, and what would be the best way to sabotage it, and if we can do it without causing significant enough damage to the people that
Full
live there.
recon.
Yeah.
Fair.
And then if
So
we
current end
that would
goal
go
is
take it over.
bridge and seeing what is possible there.
Bridger.
Bridger.
To be more specific, yeah, because there
Right.
are several
The
bridges.
town of Bridger, which is a bridge.
Bridger.
Every bridge.
It's the most famous
Heyo.
bridge.
It is that, yeah, that is true. But yeah, if Bridger is your primary target, I mean, you can see it on the map pretty clearly.
Go northwest.
You could do that.
Just beeline it straight there.
Would we have an
That's
idea
skull and crossbones there.
of the best area to cross down here? Like where
No,
one of those ferries or dwarf tunnels might be?
as we discussed very much so at the beginning of this game, your knowledge of the region is very much, you have a map, and it's very much missing a lot of markers and indicators, but you're adding them as you see them. And as I describe the terrain to you, that's basically what is being unveiled to you for your knowledge. So I'll explain again the surrounding area. The mountain pass seems to move into the northwest area, up into kind of a more mountainous region. To the northwest of you, there appears to be a low-lying shoreline for the Rima River, which is this river kind of here. The South Ramoon. Apologies, my brain got mixed up river-wise. The South Ramoon. It appears to have a small contingent of cavalrymen with Ionian banners, numbering in the 100 area. It looks like they are moving around in kind of a scouting formation, looking for favorable terrain. To the south
And
of
this is
you,
in that adjacent hex.
it's the one with the skull and crossbones in it.
That's a scant 15 to 30 miles from us.
15-ish, yeah. You can see.
Boy, I don't
you-
like being adjacent to that hex.
You can see them. They are down there. And whether or not.
Oh, we're on high ground. Forgive me.
Correct. And it's going to be hard to get their horses up there. Just as easily, it will be hard for you to descend. But the mountain pass goes up to the north or the
We
southwest.
can jump.
Yeah, we could.
Only one of us has to live.
Just stacking up bodies at the bottom. South of you, the road continues on, but it does not go up into the mountains. This kind of maintains a cliff level area that's directly south. To the southeast of you, it's cliffs all the way down, and you saw last night and can see even better now, there appears to be some sort of retreat, like a cliffside retreat, settled inside of the cliffside. And then, this is the way you came, and you can see further out a bit, now that you're at a higher ground, there are 3 strange islands off the coast there that are just kind of neatly sat there. They're very small islands. They're not very big, like almost like a shrine or some sort of like, religious kind of site of importance kind of over there. And as we discussed in the pregame, religious sites, crypts, battlefields, the like, are very likely sources of where a well of souls would be located. All right. Any questions, Steve, on the terrain or anything around you?
What about this one? Did you say this one?
Yeah, that's the mountain pass going up. And then, I'm sorry, I did miss the north one. North of you, you can see that there's kind of a meandering method back into Farod Pass.
That also puts us back on the road we were trying to avoid.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the safe route is just to keep following this path we're on, and then eventually, I'm sure
Is the entirety of the darker region, is that the higher ground? Is that the idea? Or
yeah, so the brownish colored thing is kind of like mountainous, and then like the lighter kind of tan, or the darker tan is the cliff top, and then the pinkish is the coast.
Like, I can only assume that there's some sort of crossing here, like where the road abruptly ends. So if we just,
well, Uther seems to know his way through the mountains, and so far so good. We want to keep with the mountains and head towards that riverbank you were pointing out.
Yeah, that works for me.
I'd say let's go 2 hexes south, and then maybe we can see the passages across the river if we kind of stick to the coast, but up here.
You want to go directly south, or are you wanting to stay on the mountain pass?
Like down 1 to the left and then straight down.
Okay. Well,
So staying on
I
the
don't have
mountain
one.
pass.
as you've
Or
noticed,
straight down 1 and then left.
Yeah, as you've noticed, we have to tackle what you see once you get there. Once we get there, so
Right.
So we want to move down and left one.
So you're gonna
Either
move
that
first.
or straight down and then down to the left.
We're already in the mountains. We don't want to leave the mountains.
So we're moving southwest. Is that right?
Yeah.
I see you.
Okay.
You head up into the mountain space. As you're doing so, I need someone to roll a d20.
Andy.
17.
Okay. Yeah, you enter into the space kind of higher up altitude-wise. It's, I'd say, a good, few hundred, close to 1,000 feet above sea level. You realize that this pass is very much undisturbed and very much kind of saddled with an air of quiet. There isn't much in the way of wildlife, which for Uther, who is a bit of a tracker and a woodsman, would be a bit strange, for certain. It's a very still and dead area. On the mountain pass, you do see that it does continue its wind to the south. There does not appear to be any method of descent from your position, or easy descent, mind you, to the southwest or southeast. So it would be difficult to make your way down from the mountain road onto the cliff. You'd also presume the opposite of that. Making your way up from the cliff area to the mountain road would have been difficult had you chosen that route. In all truth, you've kind of put yourself into a strange sort of bottleneck. The only way you can proceed is further south. As the night continues on, you need to make the decision whether or not you want to camp here where it appears to be safe, or continue your procession into the night and maintaining the strange sleep schedule that you created for yourselves.
How many hexes is a day's travel?
2 hexes at current, because you're not moving on roads. Yeah, each hex is about 15, so about 28 is normally what is granted for walking speed. But I just rounded up to 30. And then if you're on a road and are moving at a good clip, it's 3 hexes. You can also willingly have your movement to increase your ability to hide away from things. So you can move 1 hex a day and be moving stealthily.
Are we on a particular timeline as far as what our handler has issued us?
Dekelis has basically said, do it as soon as you can, but don't rush it. Do it right. It's not he's not for bloody murder, but if Willowdene dies, Willowdene dies. Oh.
Jeremy's lost power.
Oof.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no.
What's the matter?
I was not prepared. Luckily, it's the last 10 minutes. It's fine. I can quickly jump in. Oh, man. That's funny. My overconfidence, my hubris. How dare. It always bites me in my butt.
Yeah, this first session's gone flawlessly.
I think it's gone pretty well.
No, it's gone fine.
Well, he said we're not hindered by moving through mountains, so we could just stay on the mountain.
Because of Uther.
Kate, just kind of keep our eye out toward where it might be a good crossing at the river, if we see anything from our high vantage point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be the best option. And then worst case scenario, if we get all the way to the end of the mountain, we can always just go down and then cross that way if we have to.
Yeah, logic dictates there must be a path, something here, right? This wouldn't be just a road to nowhere. Or somewhere around here.
Yeah, somewhere on this mountain has to be something, or they wouldn't make a road for it.
Well, it's not a road. But
go ahead.
In all my years, I've never seen the road to nowhere.
Question as far as travel,
Mm-hmm.
is it based on pace or anything like that? Are we able to forage, keep an eye out for particular?
You do not need to, because Uther has the Outlander background, and he can feed all 6 of you every day of his movement with general just foods, berries, and the like. So if you're looking for, if you're foraging, it's a downtime activity. If you're looking for specific stuff. So if you wanted to, you could go, oh, this is a pretty good spot. Let's take some time to do what Steve wanted to do with his downtime, and then do something here and make a camp of it. And if going out and hunting rare materials is your goal, yeah, you could acquire them.
That's up to you guys if you want to do it. I was strictly curious.
Absolutely.
I have no issue with either way.
Yeah, Jeremy's out for the rest of it.
Does anyone have anything that they would very much benefit from doing downtime activities, making camp here and just living off the fat of the land?
If anyone needs any small healing stuff, I can do some cooking, but other than that, it's not going to do much. It gets your hit dice back and stuff.
Mm-hmm. You can also make potions a bit more versatile for long period stuff. If you read Kikios, you can basically take some of the ingredients that you have and then take someone's potion and mix them together to make Kikios, which is kind of
it takes 3 potions.
No, 1 potion per Kikios.
Oh.
3 orange caps per I can't pronounce it right now.
What does Smith Tools have the ability to do?
I didn't know you were proficient with Smith Tools.
I didn't either. It just popped up. I think I just got it with my my rune.
Mm-hmm.
I have some work to do between handouts. I think you got it at 3rd level when you gained the prestige class or the subclass.
Yeah, if you guys want us kind of dip our feet into this crafting.
We might as well. It's the first session. We might as well
no rush,
touch on it. We're coming up on the end. We can do our
mechanics.
Do our itemery in between sessions and have our prepared stuff. John, do you want dice rolls, etc., for foraging or success rates on cooking, etc.?
So with that Smith's Tools, you would be able to craft adamantine armor, I believe armor of gleaming? Yeah, and then one other one. I need to find the right recipe.
Is it the shield with the face on it?
No, it's a weapon. I'll have to get back to you on that. But yeah, regarding the question you just asked, there's no rolls required for that. It's just an acquisition based on location. And so to make sure we're understanding the way the wording works, and make sure everything is being handled correctly, the downtime activity that you're actually engaging in would be Cultivate Resources, which has a kind of listing of fish, fundraise, garden, hunt, research, sell, shop, study. And so basically, the question I would have for you, Zach, as you are cultivating resources, are you looking for flora or fauna or
Flora.
mineral?
If we're doing that, I would like to look for minerals.
Flora, you said?
Yeah, I'd be keeping an eye out, particularly for
Roll 2d4.
So there are dice.
No, but not for random chance.
6.
You got a 6? Okay.
Yes.
You managed to find a total of 6 Atavian flowers and 2 orange caps in the mountains.
2 orange caps, like a mushroom.
Mm-hmm. And you also find 1 night bloom seedling.
Night bloom seedling. Oh, you're giving me handouts. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Is anyone else doing such a thing? Or
Can I do the one for minerals to try to find adamantine in the mountain?
You sure can attempt that. It's not going to be something that's just going to be laying about, however.
Yeah.
There is no roll necessary or anything, but mineral-wise, all you're able to find in your search here is 10 ounces of residuum.
Perfect. Okay. Put them up. I know my new goal now, though. Definitely gonna get 10 pounds of adamantine somewhere.
Would my like dwarven stone cunning be able to like have an idea that where that it'd be like really deep?
Adamantine's underground. Yeah,
it's
most
not
metals.
a vein that would be above.
Most metals are going to be underground. There are going to be some rare exceptions, but they are notated on the map.
Just to confirm that I'm remembering correct, residuum is the stuff we used in the last game as like a spell casting component.
I'll just go
it's
ahead.
Still that.
But it's definitely a bit more.
But it's also used.
It's less vague and it's more precise. It's used in a lot of stuff, and it still has the same general purpose reuse of being able to be used as spell component costs. So if you have like a spell component cost of 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds, you can replace that 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds with residuum instead.
Okay, so I'm sorry for all the questions, but
no, it's okay.
For that, could I use the residuum in place of the adamantine?
No.
Okay.
Spell component costs, not recipe.
It says,
costs.
and it says, any ingredient in a recipe with an equal value of residuum.
So then, yes. Sorry, apologies. That's right.
If you just got to find like 10 pounds of it.
Well, no, because adamantine has a cost associated with its pounds. Okay. It's not a weight exchange; it is a cost exchange. So in the case of adamantine, a pound costs 50 gold. Since you can make the recipe, I will show you how adamantine plays.
And you said I found 10 ounces of it?
A residuum, yeah. So 10 gold pieces worth of residuum.
Well, we're past 7.
Yep, we are. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. We can discuss the downtime activities that haven't been fulfilled yet. Silas still has a downtime activity. Nyx, you still have a downtime action you can take. Rolling Rock, the same. And Jeremy will have one as well. He can forage for food double here. He doesn't gain any benefits on the thing above. Anyway, any questions for me before we close it out? Any final questions? Okay, perfect.
I don't think so.
Next Sunday we should be on. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching those that did, and have a great evening.